And I'm going to go to speaker view. All right, folks, this is Ed and Rebecca Weens in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It's always a pleasure to kind of have our team. We call it the virtual campfire meeting every Sunday night. Might be Monday where you are. It isn't part of the world where folks are listening in from, but it's a real pleasure tonight to have just one of, I guess, really truthfully, one of the heroes for all of us. Let me just I'm going to move here to full screen, I think, if I know how to do that. And full screen. Okay. So Alan Noble, are you with us tonight?
I'm here, Ed and Rebecca. Thanks for inviting me here. Congratulations to all the wins that I heard, the wins and the wows. I love it. Great job, guys.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We've got some great folks, and I know you get a chance to be on a lot of team calls, Alan. I just want to let you know that you're talking to the finest cross-section of ASEA associates that there possibly is tonight on this call.
That's what I was thinking.
Let me say, first of all, yesterday, Alan was a featured speaker at an event in Dallas that was sponsored by the Association of Network Marketing Professionals, ANMP. And it was, we had kind of short notice that you were going to be on at that particular time. And we put the word out. I know some of the folks got a chance to hear your presentation, but it was fantastic, Alan. Thank you for, I hope we get a recording of that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. It was an interesting experience. I'll say that.
Yeah. It's because, for those of you who don't know, in that particular setting, you cannot mention a company name. Yeah. In fact, there was the story told from the stage a couple of years ago when I was there that, I mean, those rules are strict. There's so many different companies represented, and it is a non-prospecting environment. And somebody had got into the men's room and put business cards on top of the urinals. And so somebody else went in and saw that, went and turned it in to the MCs, and they booted the guy from the event. Yeah, because it is a non-prospecting. So Alan, you did a great job just to represent the industry. And some folks are new here, obviously, and some may have not just heard your story. And I don't want you to have to repeat all of that, but if you could just briefly kind of put in context your background that kind of led you up to the discovery of ASEA for you.
Yeah, sure. Be happy to. I will tell you, Ed. So I was kind of dressed, nice jeans and a t-shirt and a jacket on the night before. And I realized I can't be wearing a ASEA t-shirt. And so I had to go through my wardrobe trying to find a non-ASEA t-shirt. The only one I could find was a Guinness t-shirt. So
appropriate.
A Guinness t-shirt and an ASEA t-shirts, I've won one Guinness t-shirt and about 20 ASEA t-shirts. Anyway, yeah, so look, my journey, gosh, it seems like a lifetime ago. It really does. Sometimes it seems like yesterday, and sometimes it seems like a lifetime ago. But here's the quick version on this. I graduated with a degree in international finance from Queen's University, Belfast, and it was one of the finest, still is one of the finest universities in Ireland. And I graduated top of my class. And I don't say that to boast or to brag, just to simply state that I was in a position to walk into any career I wanted in the world of finance, banking, investments, whatever. I'm good at math, okay? Not a particular interest for me. I'm just good at math. I'm good at math and music, Those are my two skill sets. And
let me just say, we tried to get Alan on last week, and he couldn't because he was playing in a symphony production. He's a symphony flautist. So yeah, he says he's good at music. He's good at music.
That was difficult music too. That had me on my toes, that music. So
I listened to it. It was good.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. So I'm getting back into a lot more flute playing. At one time, I wanted to be, at about 16 years of age, I wanted to be a professional, well, what Americans say flutist, we say flautist, but an American, a classical flute player. And then I just realized that, I was good, but I wasn't going to be good enough to be like one of the top levels. And so I said, you know what, rather than being a broke musician all my life, I'm going to go do something else and keep music as a hobby. And it was the right choice. And it's been a wonderful hobby. And sometimes in entrepreneurial burnout, here's a story I've never told you, Ed and Rebecca. There was a time when I got totally burnt out as an entrepreneur, just the ups and downs, the stress of an entrepreneur. It's always feast or famine. And I had I took on 60 kids, teaching them music, teaching them the flute from basically 6th grade to 12th grade. And after doing that for 2 years, entrepreneurial burnout was a piece of cake.
I can see that.
I replaced it with teacher burnout. And then it's like, hey, come on. Being an entrepreneur is a piece of cake. This home-based business, Lark, is easy compared to teaching 60 kids how to play the flute.
Kidding.
So anyway, I graduated with a degree in finance and was ready to walk into a career. And I actually got through to the final rounds of a job interview with Guinness. And the interview went great. I had a lot of feathers in my cap. And I'll never forget that interview. And if any of you have ever been to St. James's Gate, Dublin, which is where the Guinness factory is, he was a smart guy, Guinness. He got to sign, was it 1,000-year lease or something on that building?
9,000, I think it's 9,000 years.
9,000-year lease.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite incredible, the vision that this guy had. But I was in the belly of the beast in the corporate boardroom, and it was all mahogany paneling, and all of the oil paintings of the Guinness family were all around me. And I remember sitting in that interview, and they said, I can still see where I was sitting, and they were at the other end of the table. This was 1992. Okay, so this was 30 years ago. And the person that was taking the interview said, Alan, this has been fantastic. Do you have any final questions for us? Kind of like before we give you the job. And I'll never forget, I had this stirring, nauseous feeling in my gut. And I didn't know what it was back then. I just felt so claustrophobic. And I remember slapping my hands on the desk, pushing out my chair, standing up and saying, no, I think we're just about done here. And I walked out of my first and my very last job interview I ever had in my life. And I found out later that condition that I was suffering from is a condition known as psychological unemployable. I don't know if anyone here has the same condition, that you're psychologically unemployable, but that's what that nauseous feeling was warning me about. And so then it's like, well, what do we do with our life? I have to go find myself. So I put on a backpack and I traveled the length of Africa, 17,500 miles, 22 countries, sat with the mountain gorillas, trekked the jungles with the pygmies, did all sorts of really cool things, but I did not find myself. And so I came back in the summer of 93 and enrolled in a master's in finance. I was going to prolong real life for a little bit longer and just get on the academic treadmill and start a master's. And I was in my first week of my master's degree when I was given this book, this very book. It's 96 pages long. And this little book introduced me to the business model of network marketing. Now, this had been given to me by somebody who it was actually my now father-in-law, back then my girlfriend's father, Tanya's dad, who was a very successful businessman. He had 2 grocery stores in a small town in Ireland. And he'd been approached. He knew everybody in the town. He was a person of influence. And obviously somebody thought, hey, I got a great business opportunity for you. And he said, no, thank you. But my good for nothing soon to be son-in-law, maybe he might want to sell water filters, while he's doing his master's degree. So anyway, he gave me the book. And this little book introduced me to the circles of network marketing, And I saw these circles and I started to understand. Remember, I got an economics finance brain. And so I started to look at this business model and I went, holy smoke. These are the most incredible wealth building principles that I've ever seen. These are concepts of leveraged income, the ability to earn beyond yourself, the concepts of residual income, the ability to earn over and over and over again, and the concepts of global income, which is more relevant today than ever before. I love the fact that we've got the Philippines on here, we've got Australia on here, we've got right across North America on here, Europe's fast asleep, or they'd be on here too. And this global income allows you to build an income that never sleeps. Your business never sleeps. It's a 24/7 income. So I saw these wealth building concepts and I thought, why did they not teach me this stuff in my finance degree? And then I've realized, well, they weren't teaching me how to become wealthy. They were teaching me how to look after other people's wealth. Yeah. That's what I was being trained to do, like a good puppy dog, to guard the door. And so in that moment where freedom is the single most important word to me, I don't have any tattoos, but if I had one, it would say freedom, and it would probably be in Chinese or Thai or something cool, but it would say freedom because that's my word. And I realized this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to become a network marketing professional in that moment. And that desire never changed. That was the summer of 1993. That was 29 years ago. Now, I saw the circles, and I'm good at math. And I went, well, how hard is it to find 5 people who catch the same vision that I did? And how hard is it going to be for 5 to find 5 who can find 5, who can find 5, and who can find 5, and we'll all have some customers, and we'll all get rich. I thought I was going to be a millionaire in a couple of years, maybe actually by Christmas.
Yeah.
Didn't quite work out like that. What I had to understand is that this is a journey of personal development cleverly disguised as a business.
Yeah.
And I am living, walking, breathing proof that introverts can succeed in an extrovert world, and what is often an extrovert industry. And what was interesting, Ed and Rebecca, at the Association of Network Marketing Professionals, there was part of me that began to have some self-doubt, because here's this very extroverted, very big personalities. You know, they're born rock stars, they're born movie stars, and here's little old me. I'm just very quiet. I mean, I like to have fun on Zooms, but I'm just a very quiet family kind of guy. I don't like parties. I don't really like big crowds. They drain me. See, an extrovert gets fired up and fueled up and energized by the people. No offense, guys, but people take the energy from me. I get fired up in solace and solitude and peace and quiet. And that's really a better death. People think it's like, you know, like what I'm doing here. Well, how can I possibly be an introvert? But that's not what it's about. It's where does your energy go? And so anyway, I am proof that introverts can succeed in this extrovert industry and in this extrovert world that we live in today. And so, look, I better cut this a little bit shorter to get to ASEA. But I fell in love with the business model, started going through some personal development. I was very shy. I was very quiet, and I will never forget my first presentation. The person I'd attended, so there's no internet back then, so I'd attended, you know, the weekly meeting in my hometown, probably 5 or 6 times, and the speaker that was supposed to be doing the product section didn't show up. And my upline, let's call him the upline diamond equivalent, said, "Hey, Alan, you're up, do the product section." And for me, guys, that was, you know, where public speaking is one of the things you're scared of most, even more than death itself. And that I'll never forget, like sweating profusely. I was soaked. My legs were shaking. I could hardly speak. And that's where I was, guys. That's where I used to be. And it's like a muscle that all of us have to go through. There is no shortcut. I'm going to give you a little training here. I mean, you've got to expand your comfort zone. I heard a fantastic training once that said, everything you want is just a little bit outside your comfort zone. And unless you're willing to settle for less and bring that something into your comfort zone, if you want to get to that something, there's only one way to do it. You've got to expand your comfort zone. And if you start thinking of that like a muscle, like the muscle of willpower, for example, or the muscle of having the courage to speak in public. I heard someone say going for no. I love that. That's a great way to expand your comfort zone. Go for the no's, become indifferent. Indifference makes the difference, you know, care less, but don't be careless. Develop the backbone, develop thicker skin. That's all part of the muscle of growing and expanding the comfort zone. And as you do that, you start to have a lot more success. And so that was the journey for me, was starting with a very small little comfort zone and had to expand it and expand it and expand it and expand. And even this event was another expansion of my comfort zone, and overcoming some of my own self-doubt and everything else. It was, you know, the day you stop growing is the day you stop living, really, you know? So we've always got to be growing and embracing that. So I had to go through that personal development. But the other challenge that was going on at the same time was I was finding it really hard to find my home. It's kind of like, you know, you like girls, but you can't find the one you want to say till death do us part. And the few that I had dated turned out to be kind of crazy. The CEOs were crazy, the master distributors were dishonest, and the companies went out of business. And I'm kind of a fairly unique situation, because a lot of people are introduced to network marketing through the product or through a company or through somebody they know really, really well. I was introduced by somebody who wasn't even in the business. I didn't know what the product was. I knew nothing about the comp plan, but I was introduced to the business principles of the industry. And that is what stuck with me. These business principles make sense. And you won't find a bigger fan of the network marketing business model. I will go toe to toe with anybody that says this is not the finest business model in the world. It is. That's what I fell in love with. Now I had to find the company that deserved my attention in the business model. And so, look, I could keep you on this call for 2 hours telling you the journey and the stories and the heartache, et cetera, et cetera. But in the end, I walked out of the industry for almost 8 years. And this now brings me up to the point that Ed actually wants me to share with you. So I asked you earlier, how long is the call, Ed? My apologies. So in May 2009, my dad got sick with a really serious health challenge. And I went on he started taking some treatments that made his hair fall out and nauseous, and you get what I'm saying. And halfway through those treatments, his doctor told him 2 things. Number one, there has been no improvement in your situations. There's no change in the scans. And number 2, you're going to have to continue with the treatments. Oh, and by the way, number 3, you're probably going to have permanent lung damage from the continued treatment. Now, my father was 76 at the time. He was an incredibly athletic man. He was a swimmer his entire life. He taught himself how to windsurf in the Atlantic Ocean. He's out there at 76, windsurfing in nothing but a Speedo. Okay, didn't look great, but he was doing it. And actually, you know what? He did look good. My dad was in great health. This just came out of the blue. And for him to lose his lung capacity, it would have been game over. And I'll never forget telling my dad, tell your doctors you need to take a break. Tell them you need to take a break. You need to take a breather. And I'm going to go find the most powerful health technology I can find, because I have a foundational belief that the body has an amazing ability to heal itself. And the analogy, the simple example I give is you cut your finger and somehow your body knows for that blood to start thickening up so you don't keep bleeding. And then the most miraculous thing takes place. Your skin cells can knit together in such perfect precision and harmony that you can't even see where the cut was. I mean, think about that. You can't do that with a piece of material. You can't do it with a piece of wood. You're still going to see the join, but the incredible complexity of our healing system that we can cut our finger, big old cut, and it can heal right back in such perfect precision. You can't even see where the cut was. I mean, we've forgotten how miraculous that is. But of course, we're beautifully and wonderfully made. And so I know that our bodies have this incredible innate ability to heal. I was looking for something that could harness that power in my dad's body. And guys, I'm a big believer in, whether you want to call it prayer, whether you want to call it intention backed by emotion, I am a big believer in the power of our thoughts and our focus. And within 5 days of starting that search, I heard about redox signaling molecules. Now, that may or may not seem astonishing to you, but you have to understand this is May 2009. There's not even a website up. You haven't got any of my stuff up there. I haven't started making it yet. There's nothing up there. And it was just through a chance conversation that somebody I had connected with said, hey, there's something coming. And they couldn't even really explain it to me. Now, here's a really interesting point. Many of you think that information, sorry, Ed, I can't help but train as I tell this story. Many of you think that information is the currency of prospecting, giving your prospects more and more information. Let me tell you, the currency of prospecting is curiosity and intrigue. It's leaving them wanting to know more. So they go to the website. Half the time, the reason that you're not getting them to the website is because you've already told them too much. Okay. And so it's that curiosity and intrigue. Now, the person I was talking to was giving me the curiosity and intrigue because they didn't know a whole lot. They didn't have the information. There's nothing they could read. But what intrigued me is I thought I was pretty smart when it came to health and wellness. I'd been an avid student of the body since about 1995 was when I really began to realize that I enjoyed nutrition. I enjoyed the body's ability to heal and to learn it. And I became a student of that. And, antioxidants and bioflavonoids and, enzymes and all the other stuff that was great, but I'd never heard of these molecules. And that's what fascinated me. Why have I not heard about these molecules? So I was so intrigued that I got on a plane and flew to Salt Lake City. And I got to tell you guys, just to be honest with you, I was flat broke at the time. I was business partners in a financial services company that we were building from scratch. And I was last to get paid. And it was a big dream, a big vision. We were building a company that we were going to build up and then sell in 3 to 5 years. But at that point, I was absolutely flat broke, that I had to put that $99 ticket on the plane on my wife's credit card. But I flew out to Salt Lake City and I got to sit down with Vertus Norton. And I got to sit 4 feet away from that guy. And I remember talking to Vertus. I don't share this very often, but I remember Vertus telling me the Genesis story because, again, the video wasn't made yet. I remember him telling me the Genesis story. I remember seeing this huge behemoth of a businessman, like his incredible resume. And here he was humbly, his eyes tearing up. I could see the bottom lip beginning to quiver as he told me this story. And I thought the transparency and the honesty that's coming from him, I just felt it. And I remember these words that I'd never heard in my life, because remember, I'm psychologically unemployable. I remember these words: I wouldn't mind working for this guy. I had never uttered those words in my life. I've never wanted to work for anybody. But 4 feet across from Vertus Norton, I remember saying, or thinking, I wouldn't mind working for this guy. And in some ways, I feel I have. And that was the decision I made, was to link arms with this company and go to work for him in the field, and also go to work for myself and my family, get myself out of a financial hole. And I will tell you, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of phone calls. I'll never forget doing the very, very first conference call. It was, for some might remember, the Tuesday night vision call. I kind of later replaced it with a Thursday night Discover ASEA. But I remember the first Tuesday night vision call. I said, okay, well, I got to get this message out to more than one person at a time. I'm going to do a conference call. And it was the first ASEA conference call. And I kid you not, 5 minutes before that call started, I hadn't a clue what I was going to say. Guys, you might see a polished speaker who can talk about ASEA in his sleep. But let me tell you, the very first call that I made in ASEA, the first public conference call, 5 minutes before it was go time at the top of the hour, I hadn't a clue what I was going to say. But I had to bite the bullet. Another expansion of the comfort zone. Don't let perfectionism and thinking you have to have it all down. We got through it, and you know what? It worked. People joined. And then we did another one. And we kind of got a little bit better. And then we got a little bit better. And then we got a little bit worse because we got too cocky. And then we got a little bit better again. And then we got we just gradually started shaping the message. And that's how it all began. And I guess that's a very long-winded answer to your question, Ed.
Well, it's and I was fortunate enough almost 8 years ago to hear Vertus tell the story personally too. And he the same emotional response on his part, and it is compelling. But it's for folks looking at this today, when they're able to see the polished websites and they're able to see the tools that you've developed for us, the Amazing Molecules series of tools and the training and all of that, it's easy to kind of, I think it's easy to kind of think, oh, gee, this is a big deal. This company's 13 years of track record now, but man, you didn't have that back then. So there had to be a huge amount of just hunch or intuition or some sense of, seeing it big before it was big. And we're all obviously in your debt and gratitude for seeing that. But I guess it just registered with you that this was going to be something significant.
Well, I think it came down to two things. It came down to Virtus and realizing that here was a company. You see, to me, the Genesis story is so important because it gives you, I have a saying, a leopard doesn't change his spots without rehab. Okay. People don't change that much. I mean, it takes effort. There has to be some serious aha moments and sometimes some serious therapy and sometimes some serious awareness and courage to change, to really change. And I had seen when Virtus shared with me the Genesis story, it was like he was sharing with me, he was describing to me how I was going to be treated, how the teams that I was going to build were going to be treated, how people were going to be treated. If he's willing to turn down a multi-million dollar check for a handful of people, then what's he going to do for me if I say, yeah, I'm going to link arms with you and help take your technology around the world? And I'll tell you, for the first time, because remember, I'd left the industry for nearly 8 years. And for the first time, I felt safe because of that Genesis story, because the company hasn't changed. Those are still the same spots that this company has. They haven't changed. They haven't morphed into something else. They're still continuing to put P over E, that principles over ego and economics. And so when I saw that, when Virtus explained that to me, I felt, okay, this is a safe place to build. They're not going to pull the rug out from under me, because if they were going to do that, they would have already done that. They would have already, if it was just about the money, they would have already taken the check and we wouldn't be having this conversation. So there's something more than that. And so that was the first thing. The second thing was Virtus's ability to run businesses. You know, here's a man that ran a $36 billion portfolio. I mean, that's 3 times bigger than the largest network marketing company in history. And so here is a man that if ever there's a company that has a chance to be the next billion-dollar giant, this could be it. Yeah. And then the third thing was actually the product. The stories started coming in really fast, really fast. We didn't have all the science. We had a very early study on glutathione and SOD efficacy uptake, but the stories started coming in, and every time we'd come into Utah and we'd sit down and go for dinner, it was like fishing stories. Well, here's the latest testimonial I heard. Oh, you think that's good? Here's the latest testimonial I heard. Well, you should see the one I got. It was, and I mean, the stories just kept coming in, and you couldn't help but believe this is technology. Now we've got some science to back up those stories. But that was it, guys. And I don't know, did it take a lot of vision? I don't know. A well-run company that had the right culture, had the right integrity, with a product. I had never heard these stories with one single technology. So many people in so many different ways. And of course, those stories continue. Yeah. They just keep continuing. You know, it's absolutely amazing. So I don't know. I felt very safe here. I've never been nervous. And I've always felt that we have the ingredients to be one of the great billion-dollar companies. You know, we hit $1 billion a year with this company, and I don't say that lightly. That's a tremendous amount of work. That is a tremendous amount of work. There's only about 13, 14, 15 companies in the history of this industry that have clocked $1 billion a year. So I don't say it lightly. It's a huge amount of work, but I believe we have the ingredients to become one of the great ones. I think we're already one of the great ones because of who we are and what we do and what we're bringing to the marketplace and humanity. But if you want to just go on pure economics, I still think we've got an amazing opportunity to be one of the great ones.
I guess it's fair to say that, you know, the expectations, the hopes that you had starting out back then, now that we're 13 years downstream, I mean, you're reassured. I've been on board for, engaged for 8 of those years, but your confidence and your sense of safety has not diminished at all. Ever been challenged?
Not at all. I think the corporate team that we have today, nothing against the previous corporate teams. I think the corporate team that we have today with Tyler, with Chuck, with Scott, with Dave Wall in finance, with Jorg and Kelly Rich, as our head of global sales. I think our corporate team today is the strongest it's ever been.
Yeah.
It's the strongest it's ever been. So from that perspective, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
And then from a product perspective, I think you all know how excited I am about Cell
Yeah, let's talk about that because, for a long time, really what we had was, all we had was, our flagship Redox technology, which obviously we know is not a minimal statement at all. And we've stayed in that lane. We've not been a company that's tried to come up with, 100, 250 different SKUs of product, which is a good thing. But now we really, I have a sense we're kind of at a new chapter, a new, I guess the term they use today is inflection point, where this is perhaps a stepping stone to even a greater platform. And I know you've been outspoken about that, but I'd love to have you just kind of speak to that. Do you have that sense of, we've stepped up our game here now with these new products?
Yeah, and I said this in Mexico, and I've said it on a couple of calls. I'm going to say it here, so if you've heard it before, please forgive me. But I think it's important that I say this. For 5 years, all we had was the SIA Redox, just the blue bottle. I mean, I was building a business with just the blue bottle. It was 5 years later, it was 2014 that we got Renew 28. I mean, can you even imagine life without Renew 28? Okay, but we were building for 5 years, even without the gel. And so I am excited about Cell Performance. I have a huge vision for that, to the extent that I went to the trouble to build an entire new website. Yeah, we put some stuff into Amazing Molecules, so we still all of that have it in one. But if you haven't seen it yet, please go visit discovercellperformance.com and discovercellperformance.net. .net is product only, and discovercellperformance.com is a product business combo. And I will tell you, that is a labor of love, that website. I tried to make it just pop a little bit more. I think we're going to attract a younger audience, and I'm really happy with it. And so, but anyway, I believe, so I'm not just telling you, I'm not just giving you lip service here that, yeah, Cell Performance is going to be great. I believe it's going to be so significant in our future, in our company's future, that I built an entire new presentation platform for it, okay? And I wouldn't do that if I thought it was just an add-on. So I have to say this is what I'm going to say that I said in Mexico. I had a few people that kind of looked at me, and I almost got the impression, I'm just going to be honest here, I almost got the impression that it's like, Alan, it's like you're not talking about a SIA Redox anymore. It's all Cell Performance, all Cell Performance. It's almost like you're cheating on a SIA Redox. And I came up with this analogy. I have 2 kids. My oldest is Lauren. She's 13 years of age, soon to be 14 or 24. I haven't figured it out which. And then my youngest is 10 years old, soon to be 11. They're all summer birthdays. Anyone else here got 2 kids? 3 kids? Anyone got more than 1 kid? Got 2 kids? You got 4 kids? How many kids do you have? You got 5? Are you waving? Or 4 kids? Dr. Richard's got 4 kids. So I got 2. Let's keep it simple. When the second one came along, when Rebecca came along, did I love Lauren any less? Because the great thing about love is it has an amazing ability to expand. There's an infinite ability to expand. It's not limited. There is no capacity to love. It's an infinite capacity. And so you discover that when you have your second child, that you don't love your first any less. Guys, I don't love a SIA Redox any less just because Cell Performance came along. But let me tell you, I'm really excited about Cell Performance's potential and what it's going to do for our business. And so I've had to just be very clear. I'm not going to apologize or step back from my enthusiasm and excitement and passion for this new product division. But don't think for 1 minute, guys. 13 years, I've been singing the song of redox signaling molecules and the SIA Redox. I've seen more miracles. I'm still going to say it. I've probably seen more miracles than anybody on this call. I've probably interviewed more miracles than anybody on this call. You won't find a bigger believer in our redox signaling technology. I mean, Dr. Michael might be right up there with me, but I'm telling you, but that doesn't mean I can't expand my love to Cell Performance. So with that in mind, I'll share with you why I believe Cell Performance is going to be such an amazing product division. Guys, we had to diversify our product portfolio. It just makes good business sense. I don't care how emotionally attached you are to the big blue bottle. We are all here as entrepreneurs, okay? So let's think as entrepreneurs. You've got to diversify your portfolio. And we had to diversify it from a demographic age. We've got to start attracting the 20-somethings, the 30-somethings into the business. That's a huge demographic that right now we're truthfully not catching. And we also have to attract a demographic price-wise. Instead of a $130 price point, a $50 price point. We've got to have that diversification so we can speak to a bigger audience. And so the other thing is this massive demand. There has never been a more massive demand for fatigue, for solutions to fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. They're epidemic in our country right now and around the world. And would I have loved to have seen these products come out even 2, 3, 4 years earlier? I would have loved to have seen diversification earlier. But you know what? There's something just magical about this timing. And that is the timing right now, 2 years through COVID. It has never been more perfect to launch these solutions. An opportunity is finding solutions to people's problems. Yeah. And the bigger the problem and the better your solution, the greater your opportunity. Guys, we have amazing solutions to these challenges of fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, stress, and overwhelm. And these products are fun. They're light, they're simple, okay? Another breakthrough isn't a diversification of a portfolio. That's the same again. Another huge, big scientific breakthrough. We want something on the opposite end of the spectrum, something simple, something that you can sample, something you can taste, have fun with, okay? And so you've got this beautiful diversification. And when you've got something that is fun, that is simple, that is super affordable for the masses, and it works, and this fires me up. The average number in our Kantar study, which was 420 people, was about 80% approval rating, 80% of people saying, I feel a positive difference. Guys, if you can find a product that has that impact in like the first couple of drinks, 1, 2, 3 days, and you've got even 50% of people, you make a fortune. 80%, it's almost unheard of, okay? And so I think the other thing about Cell Performance is this is only the beginning. This is the beginning of this product division. These 3 products, Mind, Mood, and Energy, just the beginning. There are product formulations going on. There are product formulations and testing going on right now for the continued expansion of this product range. And you can expect another product or 2 products every year to be developed until we've taken this product range, not into hundreds of products. We don't want to get into the hundreds of SKUs. We don't want to go there. But it'd be really cool to take this product range to 7, 8, 9 product SKUs that would bring our entire cellular health division to about maybe 18, 20 products. That's really manageable. That's a really exciting number. So I see this as and I'm already seeing it. This is happening. This isn't fiction. This isn't just my imagination. This isn't what I think might happen. I'm already seeing it happen through my own prospecting, through my own recruiting, people that I've been trying to engage with ASEA. Hey, just for whatever reason, they couldn't connect. Maybe they didn't think they could do it. See, the 4 most important words in network marketing are, I can do this. I can do this. And if people aren't shouting from the rooftops, I can do that, then it's going to be a challenge to build a business. And maybe some people look and go, oh, those molecules, that's a little complicated. I don't know if I can do that. Okay. Whereas these products, I'm not saying that's true or not, but that's their perception. And that's what they're making their decisions off. But for this, we're getting people going, I can do this all day long. I mean, I've had several people now in the business saying their kids have called them for 3-way calls. Hey, Mom, would you do a 3-way call for me? Hey, Dad, I need a 3-way. And their kids had no interest before. They're now looking to build a business with Cell Performance. I'm recruiting people now. I'm re-engaging people all over the place. And so it's happening. It's not theory. It's happening. And I think this new division beautifully complements, because here's the other thing. they may come in for sell performance, but they've either themselves or their mother, their father, their aunt, their uncle, their brother, their sister, their next door neighbor deserves to know about our Big Blue Bottle.
Yeah.
And we're going to be able to reach people with a SEER redox that we would never have been able to reach if it wasn't for Cell Performance opening the door. So whether you build with Cell Performance, you're still going to build a redox business, I promise you. Because the world deserves to know about a SEER redox, but they may need Cell Performance to grease the skids. You know, they may need it to open the doors. We've got people building with the SEER redox, and somebody in there is having the crazy results with Cell Performance. So it's a beautiful intertwined business, but you could absolutely lead with Cell Performance and build a business with that. You can continue to lead with redox, and they'll find out about the Cell Performance along the way. But I built the website so that people could lead with Cell Performance. We're going to see a new generation, not this crew, new generation who are coming in on Cell Performance that want to build with Cell Performance. And that's what that website is for. So check it out.
Alan, we're obviously all in your debt for all the pioneering work that you've embarked on since day one. The tools that you've developed have propelled all of us. You've just you're the epitome of a trailblazer. I mean, you've hacked your way through the jungle here, the machete, and created a path for all of us to follow. And you're doing that now with the Cell Performance. So we're grateful. I think everything, if you ever secretly aspired to be a legend in this industry, I think you've accomplished it, and you got a long ways yet still to add to that. So,
well, you're very kind. Thank you.
I think on behalf of our team, we just want to say thank you, and we're glad to be along for the ride. So, I think anything else before we call it a wrap here tonight?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Well,
Alan,
let me just say I am super grateful to each and every person on this call that you have believed in your leadership, in your company, in this technology, that you're part of the ASEA family, because that's who we are. We're family.
Yeah.
It was so strange to go to the Association of Network Marketing Professionals because it's not my family. And where's my ASEA family?
Yeah.
And so this is my family. And Ed and Rebecca, thank you so much for your incredible leadership that you've demonstrated. I know this team is grateful for it. I've seen some of the comments, and I'm truly grateful for both of you and your leadership, that you constantly show up with integrity, with principles and sound teaching. So I'm super grateful to both of you.
Well, we're privileged to be teamed with you, Alan, and thank you. We'll get this out. People have already asking for the recording of our time together here. We'll get this out to you, to the team soon. And Alan, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Alan.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks, guys. Have a great Sunday evening.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Alan.
Bye-bye. Au revoir, Pierre.
Thanks.